Everybody, my name is Natalia Soler. I am the Florida Organizing Coordinator for Bodela Latinx. I am a Colombian immigrant that has been here for 20 years. I am a college student studying in the clinical psychology track. I am a musician, community leader, and I'm here with my colleague.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer Torres. I'm the environmental organizer at Bodela Latinx. I am a first-generation American student. I just graduated 3 weeks ago from the University of Central Florida, and my focus was on political science and international and global studies with a specific focus on diversity and social inequality. I have been with Bodela for over a year, working with the Latinx community here in Orlando, where I live.
Great, thanks, Jen. So what is our organization's vision for the community that we organize? So Bodela Latinx is a social justice and civic engagement organization. Our mission is to build a political wave where the Latinx community plays a key role in the transformation of our country, where immigrants, Latinx, and Black, Indigenous, people of color communities are decision makers of our political process. Now, this entitles us to be able to work with different communities in our three core issues that we have, which is environmental work, economic justice, and immigrant justice. A lot of these interchangeable connections that we have is pretty much just diving deep into the communities, the issues that they're facing, and trying to build a bridge between those issues and connect them to the policies that are happening right now in the congressional district or in the state district or even locally, and see how we can figure these issues out and find a way to work to solve them.
Yes, and we do a lot in order to achieve this vision that we have and this mission that we have as an organization. Here in Florida specifically, I've been doing a lot of community work, but as an organization-wide effort, we find the best ways to communicate effectively with our community through various forms of outreach and engagement. We use social media, obviously, in this time of a pandemic. We've been using it a lot to host a variety of educational Instagram lives, webinars, resources, and a lot of other videos that are able to reach our community a lot. So we do this not only to inform these communities about the environmental justice problems that we find in our backyard, but also to invite them to join our community coalitions and transform their concerns into action. We also host community meetings, rallies, write op-eds, and partner with other community-based organizations that are focused on environmental justice work near us. And through these methods, we aim to identify community leaders that will take the charge in the fight against environmental injustice. And through equitable engagement and direct conversations with these community members, we have been able to create interpersonal relationships that are more than just transactional. For the past few months here, we have been refocusing our climate campaign around energy efficiency and clean neighborhoods for members of our community. We have done this using the variety of methods that I talked about above, including those Instagram lives that focus on a variety of different environmental issues on a local and national level, webinars with partners around what we can do to stay safe in the heat, what we can do to combat the climate crisis on an individual level, while also urging our representatives to do more, blog posts, op-eds. We also host monthly park cleanups in predominantly Brown and Black neighborhoods to kind of educate our community about what it means to take care of our planet, while simultaneously showing the city that they need to take care of our green spaces. So through these efforts, we've been able to build this community base and put pressure on the city and also the local utilities company to do better for our community. We have been able to secure a couple meetings with the local utility companies to urge them to expand their energy efficiency programs to help more struggling families and our planet as well. Today, we focus on deep canvassing communities, which was in person for a bit, but now we've transitioned back to phone banking, where energy burden is extremely high. And this includes areas of Orlando that are predominantly Brown and Black and have a high percentage of low-income housing. And by focusing on this issue, we're able to directly help our communities who are struggling to pay their bills because of weak energy efficiency programs, but also push the city of Orlando to put communities of color impacted by environmental injustice at the forefront of any and all their policies.
right. Yeah. And, as an organization, we've been in the works for approximately close to 2 years now. And one of the biggest current internal strengths and limitations that, you know, towards building the power that we're trying to build, it pretty much consists of just an ongoing threat to our community, because we're not a community that people invest a lot of energy, time, and focusing on the long-term aspect of it, alongside with like language barriers, lack of inclusivity, and just equitable like resources. The majority of programs invested in our communities are motivated only with either an election or some sort of agenda behind it, right? And it's very transactional. And this is why when they come knocking on our door, this is all that they're kind of like there for, right? It's just a short period of time. But there's a difference when you're with the community, when you're walking alongside with them, when you're working with them hand in hand. And through this experience since day one, that's where our main goal is, to be able to be there present with them, for them, and get these changes in a more equitable and impactful way as well.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's important to know like how the Organizing to Win Lab will kind of expand on these efforts that we've been doing for the past 2 years and help us grow our capacity to reach a lot more people, right? Especially young people who are going to be the ones facing that big burden of the climate crisis. So I think being a part of the Organizing to Win Lab will definitely help us in creating more resources for our community that is overcomes that language barrier and that knowledge barrier that often exists, or and also coming to them where it hits them most, through things that impact them directly, like energy efficiency, dirty neighborhoods, pollution, etc. These are things that people can see firsthand, and they're not huge things that are out of their scope. There's something that can be done about it. So being a part of this will definitely help us reach more community members, give them more resources, help us put our experiences to good use, what we struggle with as individual community members, transform that into education for other people who are struggling with the same things or things we used to struggle with. It will definitely give us access to putting this experience into a framework with strategic political education and organizational assessment. And it'll take what we already know what to do and grow it tremendously so that it helps a far greater audience of people. And it'll not only grow our organization, but also grow the amount of people that we are helping in our communities. So yeah, I definitely think that being a part of this will be super beneficial for our communities here in our local city.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like a lot of our focus tends to be around like elections or votes, and that's a big part of what we do, right? But el poder de los latinos está no solo en su voto, pero en su participación. So.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times we tell people, go out to vote, your vote is power. And although that is extremely true, our power also comes from participating in other issues that directly impact us, such as the 3 issues we focus on, but of course, environmental justice at the forefront, because we know that all of the issues are intersectional. And at the end of the day, no matter where you live, you're going to be impacted by environmental injustices, especially if you belong to a community that is already disadvantaged. So that's why the work of environmental justice is so important, and why our power as a Latinx community comes from our participation in this fight as well.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of the work that we do, it's very measurable. It changes a lot very constantly. And through the pandemic, we realized that a lot of the engagement has to be directed into different aspects, different categories. And sometimes we need extra support, or we need the tools that we might lack in order to like be successful, right? So I think having the opportunity to have this with Win Lab is something that is going to increase our strengths already, and kind of give us a bigger aspect of the bigger picture, and we'll be able to maybe touch on those gaps that we haven't been able to really work on as well. So again, thank you so much for this opportunity. and for allowing us to participate in this proposal as well. And yeah, just grateful for the opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you all for listening to our efforts, and we hope to hear from y'all soon to see how we can expand our outreach and our influence. So thank you all.